Hey everybody, Rosemary here, and welcome to part 6 of my Danganronpa Another Despair Academy Let's Play. The last episode, as I predicted, the ultimate cheerleader Kazuna was the latest victim, and I don't know if it's because the translation is a little bit off, but even some of the characters said it themselves. But the investigation and the circumstances of the trial, or of the murder, were even more confusing, it felt like, than normal. I know that's always the case, where it's like you're left with a situation where you're like, what happens? But this one was really weird. I think one thing that made it extra weird was, like, we had an unexpected victim, not of a murder, but the ultimate runner, Ayame, I believe is her name. So she got caught in some sort of, like, wire trap, and potentially might not be able to walk properly again. So I'm assuming that was left by the murderer as well, but how does that connect to Kazuna's murder? Just a whole lot of weird circumstances. Characters who were out and about when maybe they shouldn't have been. Makako, the exorcist, being kind of weird, saying that she noticed that there was a kitchen knife missing from the kitchen. And Akane, she said she was in the kitchen making food. So, I don't know. And she's been acting kind of strange. And Tsurugi also suspects Akane as a potential person of interest, along with a couple of other people. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start the class trial. Like I said, this investigation, this whole murder scene, the whole thing with the wire, the tripwire, just really weird. So I'm really excited to see how everything connects together. So let's go ahead, let's start. Alright, so as always, let's go ahead and let's check out the truth bullets first. Alright, Monokuma file. The victim is Kazuna Tomori. Estimated time of death is about 9:30 p.m. Found in the power room switchium on the school's second floor. There is a long, torn wound on the stomach and bleeding is large. Critical cause of death is a cut through the esophagus by a knife. Burn marks. What happened here? The floor and walls of the switchium are full of burn marks. And no matter how you look at it, it's very recent. But what was the cause of these? Oh, man. I don't know if it's, like, just my eyes, but I find, like, it's more pixelated looking than usual. It's very hard for me to read. Stomach wound. Tomori's fatal wound is a neck wound, but there's a long wound on the torn stomach. This also happens to be a cut with a knife. I wonder why the killer even struck for it. Of course, a stomach cut could be fatal, but they'd have a throat scream to kill next. They wouldn't have had to hit the stomach first. Oh man, I am a little nervous about the translation and if it's going to affect my ability to understand what's going on during the trial. Medical exam results. The more information of the results of Tomori's autopsy. Basically, she said it matches the information in the Monokuma file. She also said there was an abnormally large amount of bleeding. The amount of blood loss is individual, but in Tomori's case, it must have taken a considerable amount of time to die. She said she must have felt a terrible pain. Broken flashlights. 2 flashlights were found broken in the switchium room. Is it the flashlight of Tomori and the killer? They didn't destroy the evidence then. What is the reason to be left here? Seeing that both of them were broken, there was a struggle happening at the same time. Dying message. A weird message that looks like it says XXXX. The killer left it behind right before Tomori died. This has to be a clue somehow. Wait, they said the killer left it behind. What? Not Tomori? I don't know what meaning does it have, but Tomori left this important message to us. We have to be thinking. Well, that's weird. It says the killer left it behind before Tomori died. Not Tomori. What? Anyway. Broken glass window. The window on the switchium was broken. Broken dentures forged through. If you leave through here, you can leave the power room without having to leave by the switchium's entrance. But there was a person on either side of the entrance to the power room. They couldn't have avoided being seen while killing Tomori. Even if they did, even if they got no way out, why would they break the window? Burn fuse line. The fuse line is located along the wall of the switchium. The middle of it is burned, and there are traces of being wet. It seems this was the cause of the fire inside the switchium. Probably the culprit was planning a fire with the fuse. What is the reason for it? Piece of bloody cloth. A large piece of a man-sized cloth is placed in the corner of the switchium. It has been checked, and there are burn marks in several parts of it, and it's bloody as well. It was probably for the purpose of stabbing with the knife, not having blood on your body, I guess. Ah, yeah, I was wondering about that, because I'm like, with all the blood, you'd think that somebody would have been covered in blood after all of that. Lighter was found covered in the bloody cloth. A small lighter with the firepower size of a finger will be enough to cause it. If so, the switch that triggered the fire was caused by this lighter. May not be impossible. Secret message. The motive Monokuma shared with us 2 days ago. A piece of cloth was covering it with a lighter, burning almost everything. The content of it can not be read properly, but with some letters you can see it was a secret note. Why is my secret note on the crime scene? Yuki Maeda blank blank. Might be. Blood marks on the entrance side. Blood smear dripped on the switch toward the entrance. Tamori died deep within the switchium room. The fact the blood goes towards the entrance means the killer ran away urgently injured. Ah, okay. However, there's blood up to this part only. Person has disappeared cleanly outside of this room from the entrance of the switchium towards the exit. If they came out this way, why is the window broken? Wire trap. The switchium had a wire trap installed on the entrance side. It is so sharp it is difficult to confirm with only bare hands. This was how Hatano hurt her leg. It looks like the killer installed it. What is the reason? Wasn't the killer only aiming for Tamori? Hatano's injury. Hatano was investigating a black object at the entrance of the switchium. She stopped getting caught in a wire trap and hurt her leg. Is she okay? It's hard to say the killer targeted Hatano. If it wasn't for her, what was the purpose of the wire trap? This is what Hatano was trying to investigate when she was injured. It's hard to see it properly, but it's a flashlight. It appears to have been caught in the fire of the switchium. But if you have a flashlight, you already have two inside. It was placed as... Why would it have only burned without breaking? How? Prior to that, the flashlight in the switchium came with Tamori, and the killer was using the flashlight then. Oh man, this is hurting my eyes, and we haven't even really begun the trial. Whew. Alright, Tyra's testimony. I asked Tyra why she wasn't in the student dormitory during the nighttime broadcast at the time of the incident. She said just before nighttime she was cooking in the kitchen and smeared some oil on her clothes. Surprisingly, you sure made a sloppy accident, Tyra. Suspicious. Suspicious. Kinjo's testimony. Kinjo told me what happened at the time of the incident. At around 9 o'clock, Hatano shouted that the switchium was on fire. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and extinguished the fire from outside. There was a sound of the glass breaking, and when he entered, he saw Tamori's body at the end of the room. The order of people who discovered the body were Kinjo, Hatano, Makaru, Uhara. Those four, Tyra and Kurokawa, came after Monokuma's announcement. Okay, that's going to be important. I gotta try to remember that, especially if I can't look at these things during the trial, which means I will probably forget it in like 5 minutes. Window fragments. The glass window at the end of the switchium was broken. According to Kinjo, the side where Tamori was dead was on fire, and the window was broken while extinguishing the fire. Was it the killer who was inside the switchium, breaking through the window inside the smoke? However, in Kinjo's words, he said it feels wrong. It's too neatly broken. Toria's testimony. Toria went to the antique shop every day to keep things in check. The lighter, fuse, flashlight all disappeared after nighttime. All the items that were used in the crime scene. At that point, Tamori was free to go around nighttime. There's also the other two, Makaru and Ohara. Then among the three, did anybody take the tools? In addition, the wire does not come from the antique shop. Kurokawa's testimony. Kurokawa went to the kitchen and saw one of the knives was missing. She mentioned the knife used to kill Tamori came from that place. The killer was near the kitchen last night. It is most likely they arrived very recently and left. Alright. Alright, so I guess with that given, is there anything else that I want to say beforehand? I guess I should talk about who the people I suspect are. If I've mentioned this before, I don't know if I don't remember if I mentioned it at the end of the last episode, but Akane is looking a little sus because of the whole thing about, like, she was in the kitchen and she was said about how she had to go and clean up because she got, like, oil on her or something. And the kitchen knife was the one that was used to kill Tamori. So, that's suspicious. I don't want to say I suspect Ayame, but that whole thing about, like, her leg being cut, I don't know, that just was kind of weird. Like, I don't know if that was some sort of distraction or something like that. It was like, why was that wire there? Was it just completely random that she was the one who got cut? I don't know. That was a little suspicious. I'm not saying that she is, like, I think she's the killer because of that, but it stands out. I don't know. So I guess the most suspicious people, or the ones who you think would be the most likely to do it, would be the people who aren't part of Tsurugi's group, because they didn't know about all the rules that we had. So that might end up getting them caught. But I don't know. Rei, I don't think she would do it. Kinji, I don't know if he would do it. So I don't know. I feel like it would be too easy for it to be one of them. I feel like somebody in Kinjo's group not obeying his rules, but then being like, oh no, but I was listening. I didn't like leave my room or anything like that. I was following the rules. That seems more likely to me than somebody who's just has the free reign to like walk around. So those are my thoughts. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the class trial. First of all, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial is decided by your votes. If you point out the blackened, only they will get punished, but in case you point out the wrong person, I'll punish everyone except the blackened, and the one who tricked everyone else will graduate from this academy. Also, this translation is brought to you by Zeffy, so you better damn well appreciate it or I'll punish you fools. Make sure to check my YouTube channel for any future updates on other translations. Finally, the second class trial has begun. There's no such thing as being used to this atrocious game. I'm actually more anxious than last time. But if I'm afraid here, it can't be helped. As we did last time, let's think carefully with everyone. Now then, first. Wait a minute, there's something I want to ask first. Oh my, what's the holdup? What are you going to ask? Last time it was my first time, so I didn't question it. But now that I think about it, I believe I have to ask this now. The body discovery announcement. What exactly are the conditions for the broadcast to show up? Makaru, why are you suddenly asking this kind of stuff? If you find a dead body, then it shows the BDA. You just shut up. Hoo, I see. After all, it is Makaru, the one who paid attention to that, huh? Even so, it's basically as Kobushikawa-kun said, when you find a body, I broadcast it. Only, when at least three people have found a body, then the announcement will show up for everyone. Was it always like that? Is that a rule made on the spot, or was it applied last time? Of course it was applied from the beginning. In Maki's case, Taira found it first, then Maeda, and finally Hatano. Since the other was complete, it satisfies the condition of 3 people. The announcement came out because that rule was successfully completed. Right, it's true. The announcement rang the moment Hatano discovered it last. This thing, to say an important detail at a time like this. Was that? Did I not tell you about this? It's too late. Oh crap, well, you know, when people live, they forget. It's like that, right? Oh, I'm not human, but a bear, so it's okay. Okay, when more than 3 people find the body. Well, that found criteria is not to dwell on time, is it? For example, a week passes after the initial discovery, then the second one appears, and even if the third discovery appears another week later, the broadcast will also ring? Whoa. I mean, that would be very impressive if somebody hid a body so well that you couldn't find it for weeks after. Is that foreshadowing for something that might happen later? I mean, it's a decently big school, but I find it hard to believe that if we were all searching for somebody, we wouldn't find the body pretty quickly. Yeah, time doesn't matter at all. When the first 3 people who've seen a corpse in any way, the announcement will sound the moment the third person discovers the body. Makaru, I know it's fine to check the rules, but is the condition of the body discovery announcement important enough to ask? Wouldn't our main purpose now be to find the culprit? Keep quiet. I'm not over yet. Now then, Monokuma, this is the most important question. That would be, a witness to the crime includes the culprit? Oh? Yeah, that wasn't the case last time. Because Mitch wasn't one of the first 3 to find the body, huh? I've asked a question. You won't answer? So, oh god, I'm already trying to think. Who did Kinjo say? Who were the first 3 to find the body? It was himself, Hatano, and oh my god, I've already forgot this is awful. I should have written this down. It was the priest, I think, was the third one. You asked, do the witnesses include the culprit? Well, that's a bit pretty. Very super great. Whole delicate matter. I see. Even with a sharp sense, it becomes a problem. Okay, I'll tell you in this particular scenario. Depending on the characteristics of the case, whether or not the culprit is included in the discovery will be decided at the end of the trial. Oh, thanks. What? And it's different this time? Then no one knows. It's up to our own judgment. That would also induce everyone to be against each other. I already told you this. When it comes to trials, I'm more fair than Buddha, God, and Jesus combined. You said Jesus twice in a different meaning. Let's recap. In the last case, you said the announcement rang because Akane Taira, Yuki Maeda, and Ayame Hatano discovered the body. Then in the last case, Mitsuhiro Higa, the culprit, must have been excluded from the equation of 3 people discovering the body. Meh, I excluded Higa-kun. In fact, it didn't matter much if I included him, since the first 3 people to discover it were together that time. Then, what about this case? The culprit who killed Tomori Kazuna? Did you include that person as a discoverer? Well, that would be a big help. I mean, we could narrow it down so fast. He's not going to give us that information, huh? Yeah, that's right. Specification aside. Why the sudden dialect? Did you inhale a Tory? What? My dialect is not that awkward. I mean, I have the mainland pronunciation. You don't seem to be enough from the mainland to mix different parts of the country. No comments. No comment on that. Well, if you ask for my opinion on a particular case, I'd be the one in trial instead. If a judge enters the discussion, it's unfair, right? That would be a violation. Pooh-hoo-hoo. You're also evading the answer. Fine, just looking at your reaction makes me think I touched on a sensitive subject. No, I don't know what you're talking about. What the hell is Makaru talking about? Somebody let me know. Well, that does it for the mischief to this point. Let's get on with the trial soon. Did you know that 12 o'clock has passed already? Originally, I was going to start right away, but Miss Makaru sounded weird. It's late now. Anyways, let's go. First, start with the arrangement of the case. Please begin the discussion. Why does Makaru ask such a question? I have no idea what she's thinking. She did say before, like during the investigation, she had something she wanted to check out. I wonder if it was related to this or not. I'm curious, but now I have to focus on the trial without thinking about anything else. Time to arrange the scene. Let's gather everyone. I hate to follow Monokuma's words, but we need to begin with the case. That is the topic at hand, because the people on the dormitory side at the time of the situation wouldn't know the details of this incident. Oh, right. What happened to them? After listening to the body discovery announcement, I was in a hurry to find you guys, and then Tomori, she was dead in the power room, all over with burnt marks in the room. Okay, for those who know, reorganize the scene with the rest, and those who do not know the order of events. Yes, please go over it with me again, because I'm dumb. From now on, take some time to confirm your positions with everyone. Kinjo-kun, don't you have something to tell us before that? What? You said you wouldn't make anyone a victim if we followed you. For that purpose, we agreed. You got rid of a group of 3 people. And everything ended up like this, so why? Are you proud of it? Good job, then. Wow, I know she's got a beef with Tsurugi, but come on, girl. Like, is this the time? Okay, I'd have to make amends to risk my own life and apologize for that, because I didn't keep my promises, but if you can't surpass this moment, everyone will die. It is a pity for what happened with Tomori, but I also have a duty to keep you all from being executed in this class trial. If you don't like it, I'll be out of this trial. Yeah, I'm an incompetent cop who can't make promises anyway. That's enough. Everyone's on edge. Think about other things later and focus on the trial for now. Yes, Akane, you know your heart, but let's finish this first. Yeah, and Kinjo-kun, I didn't mean to. Sorry. It's fine. Let's begin sorting out the case step by step. Well, you know I won't say it anymore, but I don't help. You understand? I don't need you, because there's Kinjo with us. Me? Oh no, Makaru, you can stay. Don't let me do everything. We have to do it together. I said to myself, even for a dead guy, you must understand the truth of the case yourself. Boo, alright. Then let's begin. I didn't manage to get to the power room at the beginning of the whole incident to see it directly. Let's discuss what we heard and saw. The first part, around 9 p.m., Hatano discovered a fire in the power room, was it? Yeah, I was walking down the corridor on the 2nd floor before nighttime, but when I entered the power room, there was black smoke coming out because it seemed to smell like something burning. You mean that's what happened? I was at the antique shop, but I had no idea. I heard Hatano's cry and rushed to the 2nd floor. Uhara and Makaru were together as we bumped into each other on the way. We went first to the power room, the epicenter of the fire. It was hot and smoky. The fire was about to spread from the switchium to outside. Yes, that's exactly what Kinjo told me. I already know this part from Kinjo. What did Uhara do as soon was he used a fire extinguisher, but the fire drew water, fire extinguisher. So you brought a fire extinguisher in the hallway on the 2nd floor to extinguish the fire, right? Yeah, that's correct. By the way, how does Maeda know that? The ones in the area were Kinjo, Uhara, Makaru, and me. Oh, I asked Kinjo about it while investigating. Right, I told him. Maeda knows the unfolding process of the case. Is that so? Then let's continue. The 4 of us were putting out the fire. I heard something breaking inside the switchium. At that moment, Kinjo looked at Uhara and asked to see if someone was going out of the power room door, and the other three, including me, went to the switchium inside. And there, Tamori was dead. Yeah, at that point, the BDA came out. Taira and Kurikawa arrived to the power room soon after. Okay, from here on, our dorm team has joined, so let me speak. When we arrived, the fire had already been extinguished. After that, like last time, Monokuma handed out the file and put us in time to investigate. Right, from here on out are the things I've seen with my own eyes. Right after I examined the switchium, returning, that happened. That being... Hatano's injury. I want to talk about that. That was so weird. Shortly thereafter, Hatano had an accident in which her leg was injured by a wire trap. That's what happened? Yamaguchi said it before in front of the elevator. Didn't you hear, dummy? Ayami-chan, it's really okay? It still seems to be a little fuzzy. Oh, no problem. It hurts a little right now, but it's not a major injury, so we can treat it properly after this trial. Isn't that right, Inori? Ah, yes. Well, you don't have to worry. Please continue with the trial. What is going on with you, Ayami? Like, I still don't know what to think about that leg injury. That leg wound. Is this an injury more serious than expected? I doubt that Ayami, who, like, her whole life is running, that she would intentionally hurt herself to the point where she would, like, might not be able to walk again? For what reason? So, I have to assume that it was just, like, a freak accident? What are you talking about? Didn't she say it was okay? Even pretense is useless. Do you think I can't read other people's minds? You, that incompetent, and the doctor? The atmosphere of you three makes things clear that something happened. Shall we guess? Let's see. How about the leg injury that's so serious you won't be able to use it again? What? What are you talking about? Ayami-chan said she was okay. That's a lie, right? Makaru's just talking nonsense, yeah? Hey... Sorry, I thought you might be worried more, so I decided to keep this with Hatano. Man, Kanata, she folded quickly. I lied. I'm sorry. She just seems too honest. That's why I don't think little Kanata, I don't think she'll ever be capable of murder, because she is sweet and a little bean, and I don't want her to be the murderer, but I also don't want her to be murdered. She will I could see her being murdered more than murdering. Inari, no. Is it a lie? What do you mean? In reality, Hatano's injury, the moving muscle tissue, the most important posterior tendon, was amputated. Amputated? That's so serious. Without luck, it's a serious injury. You might really have to wear crutches forever. What? Why was she lying to say it was okay for that serious injury? This is the most important trial of our lives. Every detail matters. Sorry. Because of that, Hatano and I thought it was to avoid getting you guys confused, but I'm so sorry. Hatano tried to pretend to be okay, so sorry. Ayami-chan, it's a lie, right? Tell us something. Sorry, I was lying. What? Then it's really... Because the nurse's office is now locked, and since there are no facilities for treatment to treat the wound, it is literally hemostasis. Hemostate? I probably said that wrong. It's really hard to stand still. Isn't that too much for her? Hatano, shouldn't you get treated quickly, get healed, and come to the trial later? Hey, what are you talking about? What's more important than the trial? That is, but... Ayami-chan, she can't run again. No, I'm sorry, but I agree with Makaru. Whether your leg is crippled, cut off, or unable to walk, if you don't win the trial, you'll die. Then it's more serious than what you mentioned before the trial. I lied, I was okay. As a result, I caused even greater confusion. Sorry, everyone. Ayami-chan doesn't have to be sorry. Can't she be let go, at least to get proper treatment? Nope, it's absolutely forbidden to leave the court during the trial. If you're worried about Miss Hatano's leg, you'll have to finish your trial first. You say that, but I'm also in agreement. I don't really care, but I want you to focus on finding the culprit. If the focus is on me, I'll die just standing. But Ayami-chan... She says that, but let me comply with the will. And don't you think it would be wise to finish the trial earlier in time and get treatment? Uhara's right. Hatano, it may still be painful, but please hold on a little. Let's focus on the trial for now, everyone. Okay. Thank you for your consideration, Akane. Then let's get back to the main topic again. Yeah. Where did we end again? We were talking about Hatano's injury by the wire. Yeah, shortly thereafter, Inori took Hatano to provide first aid. We went out of the power room and we continued the investigation. That's the end of it, right? Quiz, but I think it's a useless question. Sorry in advance. The health room was locked, but how did you do Hatano's treatment and where? Right, I needed something tough and thick to use as a bandage, but there were some things like rags in the warehouse. However, since it's really a substitute and only first aid, there is a possibility of additional sepsis and bacterial infection. She will need antibiotics just in case. But in order to do that, we have to find out the killer and end this trial, right? Yeah, but because somebody died. Well, is there really another culprit among us? Yes, my dude, you're a little slow on the uptake. Yeah, a killer who stabbed Tamora. I don't think she did that to herself. A person doing it themselves is not out of the question. That has happened in Danganronpa before, but I don't think it would happen so violently if someone were to do that to themselves. Now, why are you doubting it for? That's for sure. But if you point out the killer gets executed. It seems like you're sacrificing one person to save Hatano. So would you save the killer? To save a killer, 11 of us have to die. I agree. Let me say this, okay? A guy who knows a person is cheap, even if they die. What does that mean? How long will you waste your time on such useless topics? I didn't mean it like that. I'm apologizing. Also, how come Makaru and Kinjo team up? They seem to be getting better and better. I understand Atori's feelings, but is it okay? I feel the same because it feels like in the end, whether or not we point out the killer in this trial, someone will be killed. I wish there were no victims, but that Bear Monokuma thing won't let us go. Damn it. What purpose does he want to achieve? So the case was cleared up. Who's the killer? We have to figure that out from now on. Yeah, Hari, it'd be a little easy if we just knew. I mean, Ray might already have it figured out, but the rest of us don't. Honestly, this case has a lot of twists. If you think of it as an ordinary murder case, it's not going to fit in at all. I mean, is it ever in Danganronpa? Is it ever just an ordinary murder case? First, let's solve the mystery of each event one by one. The priority should be the victim's body. The body? Tamori's corpse was an important clue to be able to tell the whole story of this incident. There aren't just one or two secrets related to her body, to the corpse. Personally, I didn't notice there was anything special. The corpse. Based on my investigation, let's present the evidence gathered. Alright. I'm gonna... You know what? It's been a little while, so I'm gonna just quickly go through it again, just in case. Alright, what clues does Tamori's body have? I don't remember well. The knife was on her neck. Okay, that's true. Also, the whole body was with blood all over. Okay, that's also true. It was terrible. Satsuki was vomiting for a while. She was dead. Is this relevant? Other than that, can't you think of something more essential? It was written in the Monokuma file about what Tamori died of, and he gave me a clue that supports the evidence. Okay. I feel so dumb. I'm just like, I literally went through the stuff not too long ago. But I'm just like... Who's Kurokawa again? Oh, shoot. Damn it. I'm like, I have the attention span of a goldfish sometimes. Oh my god, why am I totally blanking on this? I have to pick something. Okay. She was dead. Is that relevant? Shit. Okay. Man, I'm not quite sure, because all of these things could be true. There isn't anything that stands out to me as something that's, like, completely untrue. Okay, okay. Ah, stressful. Okay, maybe the thing about... Kane says here about the knife in her neck, which is true, but there was also the stomach wound. Let's try that one. No, okay, that wasn't right. No, it doesn't seem like that. Something makes the idea wrong. It was written in the Monokuma file. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Alright. Ah, shit. Alright. The whole body was with blood all over. Oh, maybe it was the thing because they said that she didn't die right away because of the stomach wounds, maybe? No, that's not right either. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh, no. Oh, shoot, okay. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember Kurokawa's testimony? Who was that again? It's not the doctor. Why am I blanking? This is awful. Okay. Stomach wounds, maybe? This one? Oh my god. Did I just lose? Oh my god, I did! No! Well, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. The very, very first real part of the game, and I failed. Shit, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to redo that part. Hopefully not all the way from the beginning again. Alright, let's try this again. I still feel like I'm no closer to figuring out where I went wrong than I did last time, so I guess we're just gonna do process of elimination. I just have to remember, what did I pick for each thing last time? So for this one, I believe I used the stomach one, so let's go with this time and see. What? I don't know. Wait. Okay. I don't understand. So Kurokawa, because like I was like who is Kurokawa? It took me a moment to think about it. That is Makako. So all she said was the fact that a kitchen knife was taken from the kitchen. So I don't understand how that... Okay, anyway. We're gonna let the game explain. Tyra, wait a second. The weapon that stabbed Tamori was not a simple knife. I don't understand, like... Tyra, Akane... She's just said it's a knife. I don't understand how it makes a difference whether it's a knife or a kitchen knife. It was a kitchen knife. I guess, I mean, the fact that Akane was in the kitchen, maybe that is what they're pointing at, that's suspicious that someone managed to take a knife from the kitchen, from the first floor, and stab her with it, so it, like, narrows it down to people that are in the kitchen, which the only person we know who was in the kitchen was Akane, rather than just taking a knife from, like, the warehouse or the antique shop. Right, it's even clearly stated in the Monokuma file. The definitive cause of death is a cut through the esophagus caused by a knife. I'm a little, like, I feel like this might be a tough one, because I had such trouble with the very first one here. Right, sorry, I can't remember well, but the kitchen knives are only in the kitchen. Is there any evidence the culprit brought it? There is, because Kurokawa saw a knife disappeared from the kitchen right after the incident. Right, Kurokawa? Yes. Too slow response. So the killer brought the kitchen knife out of the kitchen. I guess. It disappeared from the kitchen. But that's a little weird. If the killer used a kitchen knife, there's a contradiction. What are you talking about? Oh, great. Oh, wait, I think I know, but why is Tyra talking like that? Obviously, at the time of the crime, Tyra could have known it was contradictory that the killer took the kitchen knife from there. The reason is... it's gonna be because she said it herself that she was in the kitchen, right? So is she saying that somebody else took the knife? But then she didn't see anybody. So I asked Tyra why she wasn't in the student dormitory during nighttime broadcast. She said before nighttime she was cooking in the kitchen. Tyra, that contradiction is because you were in the kitchen at nighttime, right? So immediately, that seems suspicious. But I feel like she wouldn't be bringing this up if she was the culprit. So she's saying that, like, somebody may have snuck in and taken the kitchen knife at some point? Yes, right. That's it, Maeda-kun. What? But what does that mean? Makaro, didn't you say you weren't gonna meddle? I said I wouldn't help. I didn't say I would not raise a question, asshole. Yikes. Tyra told me. She was cooking in the kitchen near the end of nighttime. Cooking? Yeah, I'm sure because I remembered I accidentally splashed oil on my clothes and wiped them in the bathroom. So she's saying someone may have snuck in while, like, someone stuck in and stole the kitchen knife while she was in the bathroom? Oh, that happened. Wait, if Tyra was in the kitchen at that point, how did the culprit take the knife from the kitchen without bumping into her? Also, that's not all that's weird. Tyra said it was around nighttime, but Tamori's death was at 9:30, written in the Monokuma file. Tyra, I'm asking just in case. You were the last person in that area. Did you put all the knives in place before you left the kitchen? Yes, I used it when I was cooking myself, so I remember for sure. Wait, what? When the knife was used in the crime, Tyra, if you checked all the knives in the kitchen, it doesn't make sense. That's why it's called a contradiction. If you think about it then, do you think it's not a kitchen knife? No, there are only kitchen knives in the kitchen. The second floor was open, and I've been searching all places ever since. But when everyone started investigating, didn't Kurokawa say she saw the kitchen knife disappear? The knife used as a weapon. Kitchen. That's correct. Which one is it? I'm confused already. I think this is going to be a very confusing trial. Kinjo, don't you know? Sure, it's a contradiction. You don't even have to think about the ridiculous story of using another knife out of nowhere. Kinjo, work hard, and now we are all finished. I have a hard time understanding Churi even before the issues with the translation, but there's only one way to solve this problem. Really? How? Very simple, in fact. Tyra, you're lying. Oh, well, I mean, he did suspect her, but I didn't think he was going to come right out and say it. Okay. What? Now, wait, why is it this way? Isn't it obvious? The Monokuma file doesn't lie. The time of death is sure to be 9:30. Also, the kitchen knife is only in the kitchen. Therefore, the order of events, the kitchen knife being taken from the kitchen, killed Kazuna Tamori, is established. These two facts can be proven with certainty. But what does Tyra Akane mean? What proves a woman was cooking in the kitchen? So they're saying that she doesn't have anybody to corroborate her alibi? Now, wait a minute. What are you trying to say? Tyra, I'm in doubt. Were you together with someone? Yes or no? I was alone. I can't believe someone without witnesses. Anyone can use it as if it's just a talkative alibi. Oh, no, wait a minute. Why is the room suddenly like this? I was really in the kitchen, guys. But if Tyra's words are true, it would never make sense. Tyra, did you lie? Why did you lie? Don't tell me. Tyra's the culprit? Nah. I was suspecting her from the beginning, her and Ayame, but the fact that they're pinning it on her this quickly and they're making her out to be a suspect, I'm like, it's probably not her then. Why am I the culprit? What reason is there for me to kill Kazuna-chan? There's nothing. I got it. She kept ignoring your persuasions and invitations. Did you bear a grudge? Funny, really. Kazuna-chan grunted a lot, but in the end she accepted us. The murder happened after that. I concede you may not be the killer. Wait, I thought that the lawyer, he was part of our group. Wasn't he there for that moment when, like, there was that big kumbaya moment with Kazuna and Akane? I concede that you may not be the killer. Still, to say you were in the kitchen would be a lie. Why are you lying like that? No, it's not a lie. Tyra, tell me honestly, I want to believe you, that you're not the culprit. So, then Tyra is really lying to us? Oh. Alright, Ayame's stepping in. You know what? I mean, the two of them seem to be pretty good friends, so maybe Ayame's just like, I need to step in for my friend right now. Wait, I can't tolerate Akane being the culprit without corroboration. But I'm not trying to blame them. It doesn't make any sense if Tyra's words are true. No, there's a case where Akane's words can be proven to be true enough. What? It seems you haven't realized since you don't. Let me show you. The fact Akane never lied. Okay, once again, I will get a refresher on this one. I think it's from what I remember, I think it's enter to get rid of the white statements and shift for the yellow statements, I think. Okay, left and right. Okay. All right, yep, that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, let's go. Okay, broken window, Kinjo's testimony, blood traces. If Akane's words are true, when Tamori died, the knife was in the kitchen. I have to remember to slash. I'm like, I'm reading it. Then it's simple. As soon as they killed Tamori, they put the knife back in the kitchen. The time of death is 9:30. You can't use the knife before that. There's no other explanation. Oh boy. Kinjo. What was his testimony again? No, there is still a contradiction. Did you forget? Tamori's fatal injury. Meaning it's not hard to think death was not instant. That's true. That's true. In other words, the time of Tamori's death, it's almost consistent with the time using the knife. You don't know that. In fact, at such time of death, Inori said there were individual differences. Once the problem is solved, the rest. Oh god, after Akane left the kitchen, the culprit turned the power with the knife and stabbed Tamori's body. I think that's what it said. Oh god, I don't know. Tyra left the kitchen when she went to the bathroom to wash her hands. After that, Tyra must have heard the body discovery announcement, go to the power. Okay, this is Kinjo's testimony because he talked about, like, who showed up. So that's gotta be it. But after Tyra left the kitchen, can she pick up the knife and return from the power room to the kitchen? Think carefully. Obviously, Hatano's argument has a contradiction. I've got this. Alright, we got this. We got this. It could be that too, but I think it's the thing she said afterwards. Okay, we can fast forward this part. Good. Alright, I didn't think about that. Alright. We don't want to fast forward too much. Alright, let's hope this is it. Nice, alright. I really wish they would stop doing the tilting the words on the side, because it's really hard to read them because it's so pixelated. Hatano, I'm sorry, but there's a contradiction in that logic. What are you talking about? Isn't it possible to commit a crime while proving Tyra's words? Hatano, you mean the killer's taking a knife out of the kitchen right after Tyra leaves the kitchen to wash her clothes? And they run straight to the power room and put the knife back into Tamori's body? Yeah, if you move quickly, it's quite possible in less than 3 minutes from the kitchen to the power room. Fast isn't the problem. Did you forget, Hatano? By the time nighttime began, you guys were putting out a fire in the power room. Oh. Hatano, Kinjo, Makaru, Uhara. If 4 people are in the power room and walk in with an object that stands out like a kitchen knife, it can't be missed or even hidden in plain sight. In other words, even if Tyra secretly manages to pull the knife out of the kitchen, it's absolutely impossible to enter unnoticed to the switchium and stab the knife in the body. I can't. Thanks for the explanation, Maeda. Thanks to you, it saved us trouble. Like Maeda said, Hatano, I understand you're a close friend to Tyra. Unfortunately, if Tyra's words are true, there would be an absolute contradiction to appear in her testimony. Akane, speak your mind. Did you really? Did you lie? What is going on right now? Can I say one more important detail in this? When the current body discovery announcement showed up, the 4 of us who put out the fire and the 6 in the student dormitory confirmed each other. So there's an alibi for us. But Tyra, Akane, and Mikako Kurokawa, you two have no alibi. Well, this much has been proven thus far. Tyra really killed Tamori? This is way too soon for this. I refuse to believe it. And also, like, Akane, she just feels like too important of a character to be the second person to go, the second blackened. No, I'm not the real killer. Tyra? Really? The kitchen knife thing? I really don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken? But I'm not the culprit. I didn't kill Kazuna-chan. Akane, really? Can I trust you? But how do you explain that when you don't have an alibi? If you don't have it, it means that either Tyra or Kurokawa are the culprit. You're the most potential suspect in every way. Is it so weird to cook alone and go to the bathroom? I just happen to be alone. Tyra, tell the truth. If you're not guilty, prove your innocence. Is Tyra really the culprit? Certainly, even without an alibi, there's 1 or 2 places in doubt. But was Tyra really with Tamori? No, I can't just doubt it yet. Not until all riddles are solved. I have to think what's been missing in the entire premise thus far. Okay, Tori's testimony, burn fuse line, glass shards. Tyra is the Chinese culprit? What? That is an interesting mistranslation. I am not. Akane doesn't have an alibi? Since when? Oh, Kobashikawa and I say 8:30 p.m. That's what I think. What? There's no alibi for 1 hour and 30 minutes with a witness missing. That would be enough time to kill a person, and for the fire. I did not. Akane, it's not really much of an argument, girl. I want to believe you, I really do. What was the fire for? There were a lot of confusing things at the scene. Agreed. Agreed. Lighters and flashlights, fuse lines, etc. Okay, so this is where we're going to get into this. Tyra doesn't have an alibi. She'd be able to obtain them, wouldn't she? Oh, that's got to be Toria's thing, right? Although Tyra certainly doesn't have an alibi, could she have procured the tools used in the crime? Let's think again when the tools were missing. Okay, it's got to be his testimony, so that was right at the end, so we're going to go ahead and flash forward. Oh, no, we can't use the fast forward here. We're going to use... There we go. Wait, Kobashikawa, that's impossible. What? You mean about Tyra procuring the tools used in the crime? Yes, Tyra has no alibi for the time being. I can't deny that. Bringing the tools, however, there sure is one. Ooh, that's a certain alibi. I want to hear this. The reason I know this, it's because of the fact somebody told me. Right, Atori? Huh? Atori knew it. A lighter and fuse disappeared since last night. Or late night. Gone? From where? My guess would be the antique shop again. Atori mentioned he went to the antique store every day after Maki's incident. The antique store was filled with most of the items. And after nighttime on the second day, the things used in this case suddenly disappeared, as mentioned by Atori. Oh, that's it. That's right. I did check them. So are you saying the killer took the tools late at night on the second day? That would be the case, unless Atori is lying. No, no lie. It's true. Hey, the second day, Atori, was almost 2 days ago. Why didn't you talk back then, knowing what kind of scheme was made when Maki was... I'm sorry, at that time, I wasn't able to figure out things properly. It could have been my own mind playing tricks, so I wasn't... I don't know. With the first case, he seemed very confident in, like, he knew exactly where things were, for the most part. He knew what things were taken. And now he's all of a sudden like, I don't know, everybody in this case seems to be like, oh, I don't know, like Akane... with, like, I don't know what happened with the knife, and then him with, like, I don't know what happened with the stuff in the antique shop. I wasn't really sure about it. Well, if you're sure the tools were gone then, the killer took the tools in the middle of the night on the second day. That's what happened so far, if I understand this correctly. May I ask, why does that become Tyra's alibi? Why Tori's testimony becomes Tyra's alibi? It's because Tyra can't go to the antique store on that night. Uehara probably doesn't know about the three of us. The three who weren't with Kinjo, and only the rest know, because of the curfew, right? So we know Tyra can't go to the antique store at night. That's assuming, though... Yeah, because of the late night rule. That's assuming everybody is following that rule. For somebody in our group... I'm very, like, suspicious of the people within this group. Because they could be like, oh, well, we were following the rules, but there's nobody to corroborate that. Like, it's basically just like an honor code. There's no, like, punishment. So it's easy to cast doubt on the people who didn't know about those rules and who weren't following them as the potential killers. Why Tyra couldn't bring the tools at night. That is because of the nighttime rule, of course. So, like, that makes me believe that Kinji and Rei couldn't possibly have done it. It's got to be somebody in our group. I can't say for certain, but I have a feeling. Nighttime rule? Wait, what? If it's nighttime rule, that's what Kinjo decided, right? To not come out of our rooms late at night after 10. When did you decide that? Makaru and Ahara have no choice but to know, because the group decided when you were not there. Oh, wait, that's it. They don't come out of their room at night. This means that all the rest, meaning Makaru and Uhara, who were on their own, could have come out after nighttime. Yes, in other words, Tyra was also in the time frame Alibi for late nighttime. Yeah, I never came out of my own room at night. Wait a minute, there's no alibi at all. Huh? That late night... Hey, I can't stand her sometimes, but her and I are on the same wavelength on this. That late nighttime rule isn't a rule set by Monokuma, isn't it? So what makes you think it's a genuine rule? You don't get killed for breaking it, and no evidence if you did, correct? That's... I'm sorry, but I think the same thing. Even if Tyra followed the rules faithfully, it's no different from before without evidence. Does that mean... No, with that rule, Tyra's alibi could be enough. Kinjo-kun. Oh, what is it now? Until now, you've been pushing Tyra Akane, but your defense this time. Don't tell me you're defending your own rules now, because it's a safe, self-made rule. Surely not. I know the laxity this rule has. It's lax? Of course, as Makaru said, it wasn't a formal rule, and it was decided by ourselves, so there's no problem with breaking it. What, to break it? Isn't that actually helping the culprit? Oh no, Kinjo! Did you suggest such a thing even though you knew this would happen? Sorry I kept this a secret from you guys. Actually, I did some work on your private rooms. Oh, work? Indeed. Every late night, I put a thin thread on the door of your private rooms. Oh, it's like a Umineko situation where it's like a closed room, so he knows who left their rooms and who didn't. Thread? What does that mean then? In fact, it's pasted so it passes between the wall connecting the door and the doorframe. Kind of similar to the wire that cut Ayami's leg. I don't know if there's any connection there, but if you do this, the tape will break when the door is opened, and the thread will break as well. So, if the thread was broken, it would sound like someone opened the door. Now, I've been watching late at night every day this way. Wait a minute, so Tsurugi was out walking around, so he has no alibi, because he's confirmed that he was out of his room after 10. As each nighttime starts, I put a new thread on, and I got up earlier than anyone else in the morning to check if any of the threads were cut. I doubt Tsurugi did it. I mean, we know that he is very, very, very much against crime and murder, so I doubt he will ever be a killer. So I can guarantee you, Tyra has never been out of the room in a single night past 10 p.m. Oh, did you do that? Then you know who exactly left their room on the night the tools were gone. No, unfortunately, I didn't find that out. What do you mean you couldn't figure it out? You mean you couldn't confirm the thread was broken? No, it's because no one has broken the thread. Okay. What? That means... You mean no one left their room late at night on the second day? To be precise, the rest except Makaru, Ohara, and Tamori. Okay. Because those three were an exception. Then that means it was one of the three that was able to use the tools at that time. However, Tamori is already dead, so either Makaru or Ohara are the culprit. Don't make such rash judgments. I swear I didn't commit a murder. Now, wait a minute, Kinjo. What does it mean for us to have a thread on the door as a secret? What do you mean? I explained it was a device to check if you were out of the room. Not like that. It's as if you couldn't trust us at all. I mean, you were spying on us without saying a word. Tyra's right. Kinjo, you don't believe in us, do you? Oh, boy. So between somebody in our group dying despite Tsurugi saying he was going to protect everybody who followed his rules, and us learning he was spying on us, I feel like the group is just going to break down further, and there's going to be distrust with Tsurugi even more. It's not my reality to believe or not to believe. This is just my nature, my own personality. I'm basically always suspicious of everyone, other than me. Why is that your nature? What's with the expressions of disapproval? I proved Tyra's alibi thanks to the thread on the door, right? Reasoning itself is impossible unless you're basically suspicious of others. Kinjo-kun, you really... Stop it. Why do you keep trying to fight? This isn't the time right now. While we're doing this, Hatano's leg. Everyone, calm down. Even if you leave my legs. How many times is this going to repeat already? It's not too late to cover up disputes even after the trial is over. Now let's focus on the case, please. Okay. So, is it just me and the priest who eventually took the tools? Hey, who's to say it couldn't have been Kazuna? Maybe she was, maybe it was an issue where, like... Because, like, there was multiple people in the power room, and I was wondering, I'm like, why is that? Maybe it was a case where, like... maybe she was with the person who killed her and, like, I don't know, she didn't know what the tools were for. Or maybe Kazuna was the one who was gonna kill and set up the traps and everything, and, like, she was the one who was gonna kill, and then she got ambushed, or something happened, there was a scuffle. For now, I think so. But isn't that funny, you guys? All the other kids are suspicious. Ah, but Tsurugi Kinjo is not at all. Once again, Ray and I are thinking the same way. What? I'll say this again. No matter how much you claim Taira Akane was in the kitchen, it's useless without evidence. What do you prove, Tsurugi Kinjo? That a guy attaches a thread to a door? Where's the evidence that confirms your actions? Oh. Or just saying that that didn't happen at all, Kinjo? If you think he's the culprit, in all situations he can sleep at will, why is Tsurugi Kinjo not suspicious then? Do you think I'm the culprit now? Well, I'm just talking about possibilities, but you know there's no evidence in your words, do you? If that's the case, there's no evidence for Tori's testimony, right? The only one who checked these items was Tori. Nobody has an alibi, basically, and we're just back to square one again. And even though it was just gone on the second day, we have no way to check. What in blazes? You can't believe me now? One moment, if Kinjo or Tori's words are false, isn't Taira's alibi also false? Wait, what? I'm telling the truth. Everyone is in disarray. It's like they're trying to look for reasons to distrust each other even more than in Maki's trial. Has our trust started to break? I don't want this outcome. I'm powerless on my own. Enough. Considering the true or falsehood of the testimony will change nothing. I believe the testimonies that have already been pointed is already a testimony worth considering. I'd like to approach this from the other side of the case. Let's flip the chessboard. Kurakawa. Kurakawa, I think this is the first time I came here that you've said the longest speech. Kurakawa's right, you guys. Now, don't mind the trivial things. A lot of time has already passed. Focus on the idea of finding the culprit. As soon as you finish, will it be daybreak till then? Am I already half asleep right now? You shut up. Yes, it seems you were so enthusiastic about the killer being liars. As Kurakawa said, let's turn around halfway back and move on. Okay, I think that'd be good, because I also want to avoid making discord with you guys. Do whatever you want. To go around halfway, you mean talking about the identity of the criminal? Are you going to put things aside for a while? Either way, whether Taira lied or not, we don't have the evidence, no matter who's right or not. Let's first solve another mystery. Okay, that's fine too. There's more, the more urgent it is, the more necessary it is to go back to. Oh my god, some of the time reading these are painful. But even if we go back, what do we do first? Basically the same as before. Do you guys recall? The most important thing in this case is the dead body, but aside who the culprit is. Tell me what doubts you have about it. Then the path towards the outline of the culprit will look more natural. The body. Tamori's body was the most important clue. Let's recall in my memory how Tamori's body looked. Alright, how Tamori was killed. Let's think about it. I thought of that before, but first of all, it's the knife, right? Okay, I don't think there's any doubts of the knife. Yes, the Monokuma file clearly points this out. Tamori was dead in the Switchium. Why did she go to such a place when there's not even like... That's the big question. I bet there was a meetup. I bet they met up with the killer. It's possible the killer moved it. Oh, like moved the body? Anyway, Tamori in some way went to the switch room. Without a chance to resist instant death with a knife. Oh, no, that's not true. Oh boy. It could be one of two things. Considering the state of the body, it was quite damaged. Among that, the one that stood out from the wounds was the killing blow written on the Monokuma file, the fatal wounds. But I don't think that was all. So I was like, it could be either the stomach wounds, or it could be the blood traces near the entrance showing that, like, maybe she got stabbed in the entrance and then, like, stumbled and, like, died later. They also said, that the one in the neck wound, that was the fatal wounds, but then why was she also stabbed in the stomach? So I feel like it could either be the blood marks or the... Oh god, The sticky keys got me again. Every single time. Sorry, guys. Okay. I gotta stop switching around so much. I'm gonna go with the stomach wound. And if it's not the stomach wound, then it's going to be the blood traces. Alright. Okay. So there's definitely a scuffle. There was a fight. I'm wondering. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, was Kazuna the one who set everything up? And then lured somebody? And then attacked? And then the person defended themselves? Or was it a situation similar to the first one, where there was a meetup and then the person, like, ambushed her and killed her? Tori, that's not it. Remember? Tamori's cause of death was obviously the neck wound, but there was another wound. There was another one? The stomach wound. That's right. Right. That's the important point. The stomach was stabbed? Why is that important? The killer just stabbed her twice, right? In general it is, but think about it. The cause of the neck wound? In this case, for some reason you stabbed your victim in the stomach and the neck later. If you were going to kill on the neck from the start, why would you want to stab the stomach first? The stomach was hit cleanly, but the fatal wound was missed. However, she was killed in the end. Is there something amiss? Oh, that's so cruel. You can probably see it like that. Looking at the case as a whole, it takes something to put into notice. What? What do you mean something to notice? Perhaps the fire has something to do with it. Fire, that's right. It turned out that there was a fire in the switchium room. Yeah, it's also important. You guys, don't you think the fire happened unnaturally? That's true. If you see a fuse on the wall and even a lighter on the floor, you could see it right away. So are you saying the killer started the fire for some reason? Is there any reason to do that? This is also a question that doesn't really matter. Is the power room okay? I'm sure the switchium's a really important place, so I heard. It's a big deal if it gets damaged. Well, it is a really big place. It's cool. Of course a fire was there. Fortunately, we lived because the fuse lines were laid to burn only the walls. But... Oh, I was supposed to not speak, right? What did you just say now? It was laid to not only burn the wall, or to only burn the walls. It was kind of puzzling after all. There was such a big fire, but Tamori's body didn't burn at all. Only the wall without touching the machines or the body. So here's the thing, did the killer know about that? Did they try and burn down the room to maybe, like, I don't know, burn up her body? And then realize that it wasn't working, so they just ended up going and stabbing her in the neck? If it's a wall, what else was there? A wall. There's something on the wall of the switchium room. There's nothing coming to mind. Wait. Looking back at it, there was a line passing by it too. It was on the wall of the switchium along with something else. Okay. Oh yeah, the window. What was on the wall of the switchium room? There's only one thing. The glass window. The glass window. Now we gotta get into those shards. The glass shards. The big glass window. But wasn't it broken by the time we arrived? Oh, well, it turns out that when Kinjo and the others brought the fire extinguisher to put out the fire, did they say they heard something? Cracking or breaking inside? That's right. At that time, I thought it was the sound of someone in the switchium breaking the window and going outside. I asked Uhara to check the entrance of the power room. In the end, no one was seen. Wait a minute. If the only thing on the wall of the switchium room is the glass window, the culprit's purpose was to burn the window? Well, I think I heard that somewhere. When the glass is heated, it becomes fragile. Did they use it like almost like a bomb? Like knowing that... Like, how did they know that the fuse would only... Like, the fire would only go against the wall and then potentially blow out the window? Like, did they use it to, like, distract people and then they took off while people were checking out the sound of the glass breaking? Or was that, like, an unintended consequence where they wanted to set a fire in that room and they wanted to, like, set the whole thing on fire, but it didn't happen like that? Then the killer set fire to the switchium after killing Tamori, broke the fragile glass window while everyone put out the fire, and took advantage of this to escape. Wait, isn't that weird? If that's the case, all you have to do is heat up the window and break it. There's no reason to do a big job by setting the whole wall on fire, waging for no reason, right? It's possible it was used as a smokescreen. Actually, Uhara tried to check the entrance, but didn't he say he couldn't see anything because of the smoke? Well, that's too complicated. I mean, that's... All of these murders are always very complicated. Anywho, doesn't that mean that someone was inside the Switchium right before we got in? Then me and Kinjo, who were gathered at the point Uhara Makaru has a definite alibi, right? Okay, let's think about that. Okay, so Kinjo, Ayame, Kinji, and Rei apparently all have alibis because they were in the room at the time. No, you guys are making a big mistake right now. Never mind. Huh? What do you mean? Think more carefully. Then in your thoughts, you could spot the contradictions. Okay. Oh, we got 4 of them now. That's right, there's that whole thing about the secret note. Yuki's thing. When is that going to come up? We were mistaken. What do you mean? Ah, sticky keys again. Oh my gosh. Okay, hopefully I've turned it off. That always happens when I'm switching between. I'm using the shift key too much. Oh, shoot. You go in the switchium. Surely the fuse and lighter were used. The reason the killer used those is because there was a purpose for setting a fire. By the way, the fuse was only surrounded by the wall, right? That would have burnt the walls. On the walls, in addition to the windows, there was no special items in there. Ooh. The secret note, maybe? Meaning the culprit broke the window and smoke started to spread. Did you check that, Inori? Glass windows are fragile when heated. Yes, the molecular state changes and cracks occur. It was so fragile, the killer was prying the glass in order to escape. Oh, nope, that's wrong. Because Tsurugi said that the way that the glass broke was too neat. It wasn't somebody breaking it themselves. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what? As Kinjo said, I think we were mistaken for one thing. It's what Inori said right now, the broken glass. That's what I mean. What are you talking about? We know for sure the glass window is broken, aren't you? Yeah, the glass window is broken, but it wasn't broken by anyone. It wasn't broken by anyone? Did the window break on its own? That's a bit ridiculous, but I guess it's not a wild fantasy. No, Maeda makes a very precise point. As Maeda mentioned, the window was broken alone without anyone touching it. Wait, really? Is it possible? Like Inori said, the glass is weak to heat. Of course, it can withstand a certain degree, but if it's heated directly, or if the temperature differences between indoors and outdoors is severe, the weakness becomes more prominent. Guys, do you remember the structure of the Switchium room? It was a completely enclosed space, except for the entrance, right? In fact, even when the fire broke out, I couldn't feel any heat outside. So it's almost like a time bomb going off, where it's... Oh, maybe that implies that, like... So when did they get to the room at? So maybe the person, when they killed Tamori... especially if it took her a while to die. Like, maybe she got stabbed, like, earlier, and then she just bled out. Ah, boy, how does this work? But then the knife in the throat was the killing blow. So the thing is, like, did the knife wound, did that kill instantly? Or did she bleed out and just die later? Because maybe the person set this whole thing for it to go off later. So they may not have even been in the room at the time. Kinjo's words are correct, but still, isn't it too much for a glass to break just by thermal change without any external force? Of course, the conditions are just right. Not impossible, but I don't know what you're saying. Right, as Inori mentions, the logic is a bit far-fetched, but what if the conditions were met? Huh? I don't know if anyone noticed it, because it wasn't a part that was noticeable at the scene of the incident, and because of the Switchium itself was dark and probably nobody was interested in it, but the glass window of the Switchium was very tight. That's it. If the heat alone was left with enough time to break by itself, Kindra's words would make sense. Hey, it's an interesting reasoning, but what's the basis of it? That it was only possible that the glass could break on its own by hearing this? You didn't throw this without thinking, right? Of course not, because Kinjo's remarks have an adequate basis. Isn't that right, Kinjo? Right. Did you also notice it, Maeda? Yeah, actually, I was also guessing when I said the window wasn't broken by someone. The exact reason the glass broke on its own. That's probably because of the glass shards, right, Kinjo? The shards? Correct. Please don't tell me I'm the only one in the world that doesn't get this until you give me a proper explanation. Me. I mean, I have a kind of a general idea of what he's getting at. At first, I only knew that the killer would make use of the window in some way to escape without fail, but Kinjo said during the investigation. So I think people are assuming that somebody was in the switchium right up until the window blew out, and then they like, either went out through the window or maybe out the entranceway and, like, ran off. But there's people in the room. Somebody would have seen them, so I think it's more like a bomb that was poised to go off later. And then they have an alibi because they're not even in the room at the time. Then please do. I need to investigate the window more. Kinjo, 1 second. Can I ask one more thing? I just heard the whole situation from you, but I still don't get what's weird about the glass shards from the window. To simply put it, it's neatly broken. The glass was neatly broken. What does that mean, you ask? In other words, it means if you broke it with human strength, it wouldn't break like this. It's human power. It's neatly broken. I don't understand. I see. What you mean is the broken shape. When I listen to Maeda and think again, it really feels like that. Yeah, if someone breaks a window with a hand or a blunt object, it should crack and break like a spider web. Have you ever experienced it at least once? You accidentally break a glass or the shape of a broken glass? Oh, definitely. It looks like it was broken into a very complex shape, like cobwebs. But how was the glass window of the switchium? It was like a broken shape, as if part of the window somehow got neatly removed. No matter how you look at it, don't you think it was broken by an unnatural way? It certainly looks that way. There seems to be no contradiction in Kinjo's words. Funny, isn't it? Makaru, you must have known this much. I'd like you to stop trying to test me. Don't think of the class trial as a joke. Oh my, thank you for the advice. I'm just worried that one day you'll become as lost as these friends of yours. Kinjo, don't mind Makaru. Keep going. Actually, they just finished explaining. Wait a minute. If Kinjo's words are true, then when the fire broke out, doesn't it mean nobody was inside the switchium? Hey. Oh, so that's what he meant. Are we back to the whole thing with people not having alibis? Wouldn't that be very likely? If someone was inside and were trying to escape, it'd be quicker to break the glass manually instead of waiting to be heated in order to break itself. Yes. Besides, Ohara at that time opened the entrance to the power room and guarding it. No matter how thick the smoke was, if someone tried to leave, they would have been caught. At that time, we all thought we hadn't seen them because we all knew someone broke the glass. But in reality, oh, sorry, I skipped. Thus, the killer deliberately heated the glass and broke itself, as for the reason of making us think someone inside the switchium broke the glass and escaped. Okay, that's it, right? Then, in the end, everyone's alibi no longer holds. We're back to square one again. Is that the conclusion? Eh? Think about it. If there was nobody inside the switchium, the killer was ready to start a fire in advance. He could mix in with us at any time. If that was the case, aren't you saying that it's possible for everyone to start a fire, including Kinjo and the group who went to put out the fire when the window was broken, and the rest of us in the dormitory side? Nani? Oh, you mean we don't have an alibi either? Yamaguchi is right. Anyone could commit a crime by reasoning from the information provided thus far. Hold on, isn't that established under the premise that the person who caused the fire was the culprit? It hasn't been clear yet, but it seems too hasty. There's no reason for a person who's not the culprit to set a fire. I'm not crazy enough. She's like, and I'm a clown. Even so, at the beginning, the timing of this incident, Tamori's death occurred around 9:30 p.m. Was anybody close by during that time? I mentioned this earlier, but I was cooking alone. I was looking around the warehouse for things to help with the treatments. It was useful for Hotaro's first aid. I was just lying in my bed. What the? You mean everybody was alone? There does not seem to be anyone near the time of the crime. Wait a minute, maybe I'm mistaken, but didn't Ayami say that she was working out or something? Like she was... Like before, maybe that was the day before. Like maybe that was in the morning, because I remember like her and Akane were both like, they both went for a workout or something. But I thought that Ayame said that she was like doing a run before bed. Am I wrong about that? So she would have been on the second floor. The only way we could see each other was to find out where each other was, or where the alibis were lost, with the exception of Makaru, Ohara, and Kurikawa. What? Then we're back where we started? There's no evidence that everyone has an alibi or to deduce the culprit. That's why. You mean there's no one in doubt? No suspects? But then who was it? Tyra. Except oh, we're going back to Akane again. Oh my goodness. What? She's like the Kazuna of this trial, where it's like with Mitch was just laying into Kazuna, being like, "You're the culprit," and now it's Akane. What? Is this deja vu again? You know, maybe we're in an infinite loop now. Stop doubting Akane. Didn't that talk about her testimony finish before? No, it wasn't over. It's just that it was put on hold because there was so much uncertain information. Nothing resolved about why she lied. No, I didn't lie. Wait, it's not Tyra, as the testimonies of Kinjo and Hattori proved, right? Yeah, that's right. Whoever the culprit is, they had to prepare a fuse and a lighter to start a fire, but wasn't it mentioned that Tyra didn't come out of their room in the middle of the night when we went to our private rooms? I'm uncertain about that. Frankly, I'm suspicious of each of them, and they were put on hold. Shouldn't we use that information we have, even if it's uncertain information? Unless there's an objection to definitively deny it. I apologize. I'm really sorry. Even if there's an alibi for bringing the tools, I'll keep it in mind. Like, the difference between Haru and Mitch was Mitch, he was not sorry at all about suspecting Kazuna. Haru seems to, like, genuinely have doubts about it. Tyra's lie, however? To be honest, it's the same with me. If she's not the killer, why does she make such suspicious remarks? Hey, I told you, I might have been mistaken. Well, either way, Tyra wouldn't be enough to get the tools, so she can't be the killer. Enough with this meaningless argument. You are really just stupid. What now? Do you think we're stupid? Is it so stuffy you can't see it, and want me to share some insight? What the? At the start of the class trial, you said you wouldn't even help. Oh, did I? Then I won't meddle. Do it yourself. No, that isn't... Ugh. Listen first. Makaru might know something, you know? I'll tell you one thing, for those who are ignorant and poor. Why does poor have anything to do with it? Is that there's a method for the criminal to get the tools without using their hand. What? Wait. Say it then. The most representative example is an accomplice. Ah, you suspected that there could have been an accomplice in the last class trial, right? But Makaru, isn't it less likely we have one in this case? We were informed that the only person to escape this place would be the killer. Moreover, even if there's an accomplice, it's impossible for them to bring the tools. According to Kinjo, in the middle of the night, the day the tools disappeared, not only Tyra, but also because neither of us left our private rooms. Except for the three who didn't act with us. Then it's gotta be Ohara or Makaru are the ones who helped Tyra. Or, like I said, it could have been Kazuna. Why are you already making it confirmed that I did it? It's not me. Okay, surely Makaru and me were able to roam around without restrictions that day. But I haven't shown up to the antique shop until now. We don't have proof of that, though. You don't even have to doubt me or Yuhara, Kinji. The person who brought the items from the antique shop, can't you see it? Based on the testimonies from Kinjo and Hattori, there were only 3 people, they are saying it's Kazuna, there were only 3 people who were free to move around at night during that day. Makaru saying the accomplice is obviously visible. Surely, it can't be. Kazuna... Makaru, the person who brought the tools. You mean it was Tomori? Huh? It was Tomori? That's right. If you have an accomplice, Tomori Kazuna shows up. You can't see anyone else, can you? By the way, I'm so ashamed that the incompetent one had to answer this. Wait a minute. Tomori's the victim, though. Why is she an accomplice? I'm not sure exactly. That's what I want to know. Like, was she betrayed? Was Kazuna the one who was planning to betray? But the only ones to bring the tools are Makaru, Uhara, and her. She was a victim, so I wondered if there'd be a contact with the criminal at some point. Incompetent. This is a common pattern, is it not? The story of a criminal tricking someone into a crime. Speaking of which, the criminal took advantage of the accomplice in the end. Okay, so it was like... This is a very similar thing to, what was it, case 3? So far, where they're saying that, like, somebody worked with an accomplice, and then that person turned around and killed the accomplice. Wait a minute, Kinjo? Kinjo can also bring tools at nighttime. There's no way to prove Kinjo was out of their room or not. Didn't the time run out while talking about that? Believe or not to believe. You're free to believe. Now I think it's wise to follow more clear information than uncertain leads. Yeah, if you're with Tomori, you could definitely bring the tools. So, what happened? For some reason, Tamori did something funny. The killer himself maintained an alibi. Tamori delivered the tools to the killer in the late night hours. Now, wait a second, but Kazuna-chan didn't change her mind? There has to be a reason to decide and help the killer. You said she was an accomplice, but she can't actually get on the level of an accomplice. What the accomplice did was just deliver the tools. I need this thing. Please bring these for me is not enough of an excuse. What about it? If Tyra's the culprit, there's nothing strange about that, right? No. That is not... Tyra, I'm sorry. I hate to doubt you, but no matter how much I look, it's only you. You too. Everybody, this is too much. Why are you all so anxious to turn me into a bloody killer? You don't even have an alibi. The only difference between you and me is I made a mistake once. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? You just got an appropriate stick, so you're hunting witches? You villains. Apologies, but it's a situation that doesn't seem to be as bad as it is right now. I'm the culprit only because there's no certainty at all. Tyra's the culprit? Is that really it? As Tyra said, there's only one thing everyone's suspicious of her about right now. It's just a witch hunt if there's no solid evidence. Let's think about it. Was there any more convincing evidence? Is Tyra telling the truth, or is she lying? Alright, the flash anagram. This one I think is pretty self-explanatory. I just have to hit enter on the letters and I'm good. So I don't think I have to worry about looking at this one again. Wait, no, wait. Wait a minute, they didn't are you fucking kidding me? They didn't translate this? How are you supposed... What am I... Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I... Oh, okay, well, I guess I just have to guess then. Why would you... Oh, no. No, no, no. I'm gonna lose this one, and I'm gonna have to start all the way from the beginning again. I hope I can at least just start from the mini-game. Oh, shoot. Did I... Okay. Oh, I can't believe they wouldn't translate this. This is kind of important. You have... Oh my god, I don't know. I'm gonna fail this. I'm gonna fail this. I don't think... Is there a time limit to this one? Because the other one was so easy that I think I'm losing stars. I think there is a time limit. This is some bullshit. Oh shoot. I think I picked both of those letters. Oh no. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. Oh, I don't even know. Oh, come on. This feels very unfair. This feels not nice. Not nice. Is this how it's going to be for all of these anagram mini games? I'm going to lose. I swear, I feel like I've picked all of these letters. Oh my gosh. Well, I have to get it perfectly, I guess, from this point on, or else I fail. Oh, okay, I got that one. Yay! Nope. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, what do I do at this point? I think I'm gonna have to look this up, because this is just plain unfair if you don't understand Korean. Please don't make me start from the beginning. Would you like to try again? Yes, please. Okay, I'm gonna look this up really quick and see, because I assume that there has to be somewhere where I can find the answer to this. Alright, so I did manage to find it. It's on the actual website where you can download the game. I wish I had seen that before, but alright. Okay, why isn't it working? Work? There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. And then we've got this one. Oh. There we go. And... Come on, come on. I don't even know what the word... I don't even know what the word is. So, good to know for the next ones. And apparently this will be the case with future chapters as well. So I just have to be prepared for that and have the answer ready to go for that. And unfortunately, I couldn't just restart it from the beginning of the minigame. I had to go back a ways. Thank good for the fast forward button. But I'm like, why would the game not just restart you from the point where you're starting the minigame rather than take you back like 5 minutes beforehand? Not gonna lie, this is a little bit of a frustrating one compared to the last class trial, but we're just gonna deal with it. Come to think of it, there is a clue about the culprit's identity. Oh? A clue to the killer's identity. Is that true? If you knew that, why did you mention it now? Sorry, I just remembered. And even though it's a clue to the killer, I don't know who it's pointing to. You don't even know who it's pointing to. Then how do you know it's a clue to the killer? Maida, what you're referring to is the dying message. Is that correct? Right. Some may not have seen it, but next to Tamori's body, there were some letters written in blood. The XXX. Big X. A dying message, is it? Something like a cryptogram that points to the killer before they die. Yeah, everyone take a look at this. This is the dying message presumed to have been written by Tamori. Hey, this is it? I've seen this blood spot too. I just thought the blood splattered in a strange shape. It actually looks like that, but if there's any meaning in these letters... This is a clue to the culprit, right? I think it's good to decipher the dying message, rather than being suspicious of Akane while catching a fuss over it. But what does it say? Do we have any letters? XXXX. 4 X's. I don't know what this means at all. So try and think about it different ways. The only ways I could think of X's are like an actual X. It could be maybe... I'm also thinking of like X means 10. I don't think that has anything to do. It could be the positioning of somebody. I think Kinjo or Makaru may know. Isn't this a professional's job? I like Satsuki be like, we don't have to think about it. Let's just talk to Tsurugi or Rei. They'll know what's going on. Basically, the dying message refers to the culprit more directly than you think, because it's just before she dies. The culprit cannot afford to waste their time thinking. In other words, if you think a little, it has various meanings that would need to be solved. Don't think very hard, just change your perspective a little. 4 X's. Does that number have any meaning? I don't think it's a number. A number or letters. I feel like it's a positioning of something. Actually, doesn't it seem like the last X is a little big? It seems to have a different meaning from the first 3. What is X? The meaning of X? Maybe it's like the positioning of like somebody's room? Assuming that Kazuna like has everybody's room memorized? Maybe like the big X is like the culprit and then it's like maybe 4 down from her? I don't know. You guys are really stupid. I'll hold my hand up to this. I do feel really stupid. I don't know what's going on here. What? Does that mean you understand the meaning of this dying message? Of course not. There's nothing to understand. This is not a password. It literally points to the wait, it points to the killer. What? That was it. What? What do you mean literally? Well, first of all, if you don't know even after telling you this, I'd rather be executed and die. No way. Wherever you look, it only reads X. Oh, katakana. Well, I don't know katakana. How was I supposed to know this? Huh? Katakana. Word. Think about it. The game better tell me, because I hope it doesn't expect me to understand Korean when I'm trying to figure out the anagram on top of understanding katakana. Katakana is... Wait, katakana. Obviously, this dying message looks like the letter X at first glance. It's because there's a lot of blood, but from a different perspective, it really looks like katakana. A letter that reads like an X in katakana. Oh, okay. We're gonna be writing shit down. Let me write this down. So, me? So, M-E. M-E, the most familiar one I can see. No, there are many other things you could think of other than that. In fact, Japanese can be read differently enough, even if it's written a little skewed. It's not strange for a person on the verge of dying to write with their own blood, but it'd be weird if they would write straight. Then what were they trying to draw in the end? The middle X and third X, the alphabet X, have long vertical strokes. If X is tilted, it becomes where the vertical stroke is long. If it's long, I. Okay. M-E-T-O-I? Mitoi? That doesn't... Mitoi, Meitoi, Meitoi. Like, because it could be pronounced different ways, potentially, right? I don't know, man. I'm getting a headache, Same Haru. No, no way. What this word means is, when I think of katakana, the first X is almost always similar to a me. Me, I'm just reading it as me. It could be me, me. I'll give you one more hint. The third X is a symbol that seems to be hiding, see? It seems. I can't see anything like that. Look closely. It's buried in the big X next to it. It's hard to see because there's a drop of blood in the exact location. I don't know if you say so. Allow me to raise a question to you. Kinjo, your reaction seems to be the reaction after knowing the correct answer. Normally, this is the point where it's like, we know what's going on, but I'm looking at these letters, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. At one point after listening to Makaru and Kurokawa's words, I came to realize it seems like there are other people who solved it besides me. What? I'm supposed to know, right? I don't know. Mitoi? Oh, God. If you think of it as katakana, the first letter is M-E, and the last one has a hidden symbol. The second and third with long vertical strokes are I and toe. Oh, I have it mixed up. It's M-E-I-T-O. Meet. Okay. When I think about those combinations, I think I can see the answer, but should I believe? But Mito? 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 No, I have no choice but to accept the result. I have to do it. Mito? Oh, what? Oh, I have to... Wait, so, hold on. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, M-E-I-T-O. Mito? Mito? At first I was thinking like M-E like me, like, like she was like me, like I did it, but I don't think so. I'm just looking at the names. I feel so dumb. It's not because I was like, it's nothing close to the Maito, Miaito. Guys, I feel so dumb. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I was like, it's not Mikako. Miyato. Meito. Oh, wait. Meito. Like, maid? Meito? Like Akane? Like a maid? Wait. Okay, hold up. No way. No way. We're just gonna... No! No! No way! It's Akane? No. No, 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 no. I was saying, I'm like, there's no way. She's been too suspicious. Like, everybody has been... Huh. Words are hard right now. It can't be Akane. No, she's supposed to be with us. She's on the main screen. She's supposed to be an important character. There's no way. That is ballsy, man. That is ballsy of this game to be like... It's not like Danganronpa 3, where, like, they kill the protagonist off in the first... Hey, spoilers, sorry. I assume people have played Danganronpa V3. Not a situation where it's like the first episode, or they stick through to the end, but straight up like, no, the second trial. If they did this, I'm like, okay, they're switching it up. The meaning of the dying message, as Kurokawa mentioned, this was a text that could be read as it was in katakana. However, it looks like the letter X because it's a little bloated. Maeda, do you know the meaning of the dying message? Well, Kurokawa, Makaru, and Kinjo's hint set on, I'll explain it to you guys from now on. First of all, the first letters everyone guessed. So, this is easy to understand that even if you look at... My dumb English ass was just reading it as, like, me. You look at it, you can confuse it a little with an X, right? I think the second letter is probably I. And I was also being like, my, mia, me, I. If you use the vertical stroke a little longer, it overlaps. The horizontal stroke, it has a similar shape to... Okay, the third letter is probably hard to recognize, but I was able to guess based on Kenjo's voiceless remarks in the first two letters. Maybe this one was supposed to be do. Yeah, because it came out as T-O instead of do, so it's Meido. This one's close to I. If you write a longer horizontal stroke, it would have the same shape as X. I'm still uncertain what the last big X means, but once you look at it this far, it's true. One word comes to mind. Maid. Maid. Ultimate maid student Taira Akane. What? And we're about halfway through, or a little bit past halfway. I've been playing this, what, for about an hour and a bit? So, I mean, if this is gonna go like the first class trial, I mean, once you've picked your person, that's it. Holy shit. Eh? Wow. Did not. I know I had her suspected. I didn't think they were gonna do it. I didn't think they were actually gonna do it. Holy shit. Wow. Well. We are gonna, wow, I'm still reeling from that. Holy cow. I can't, we're gonna lose Akane. I really liked her. And I just can't believe, like, was all that an act? Why did she kill Kazuna? Like, that whole thing about, like, that impassioned speech she gave to Kazuna to bring her back into the fold. She hugged her, told her they wanted to be friends. Was that all an act? Was she doing all of this to just, what, put doubt on Tsurugi that he can't protect them? And she's willing to kill everybody else and herself for that reason? It's wild. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here. As much as I want to finish this off and see why she did it. And how. There's still so many questions, though. Like, there's so many things that haven't been brought up. Like the truth bullets. Like, let's look the burn marks. The flashlights. Like, the cloth. My secret. The secret message. What does that have to do with anything? The wire trap and Hatana. There's so much. There's so much we haven't even talked about yet. I don't know, man. This is a wild episode so far. I'm not gonna lie. I was frustrated with some aspects of, like, some of the translating was giving me problems, especially with the, that word game. A little frustrating, but I know for next time now. But that just made up for everything. That reveal. So I'm really excited to see how this ends and to get more answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned next week for the finale of this class trial. Yeah, until next time. Bye, guys. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, iCognito, Jared Fan, Poxy, Joel Oostman, and Zoran Ether.